Shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, I want to acknowledge Alakiam, who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And it's kind of been like a little series that I've been done this week with respect to, building up our spirit as the elect, and also, getting our spirit ready for that test and that trial that we're gonna be faced with when the micro C-HIP is implemented in draconian law, in martial law, which is going to be, a test. It's going to be a test for the elect. And the elect, if you're of the elect, you're not going to take that micro C-HIP. But it's also, these lessons have been going in on trusting in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and not, trusting in the flesh, which is taking heed or bowing down or bending the knee to Esau Edom and his wicked devices, or his wicked schemes, his new world order, right? The micro CHIP that he's about to try and force on everybody here in his wicked society. And it's right around the corner, or you could even say it's at the doorstep, right? So let's read this. This is an example. First I'm going to, as I have all week, open it with Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. All right, so even this chapter we're about to read here is written for our learning. Another consistent scripture that I'm going to bring out this week is Matthew 10 and 28, which reads, And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. All right, so we're not going to trust in the so-called white man's wicked devices. We're going to put the elect are going to put their trust in Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. All right, and even if that means death, even if that means martyrship, and that's why you got to build up your spirit. Because if you're not building up your spirit in this knowledge and this truth, then you are not going to be able to have that spirit to resist that micro CHIP. Okay. So let's read the lesson that I was going to go into. It's 2 Maccabees, Second Maccabees chapter 7, starting at 1. It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken, and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. Right, so 7 brothers, and their mother. The king, the wicked king, the heathen king, was trying to, force them to eat swine's flesh, which is a violation of the law of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You're not supposed to eat swine's flesh. You're not supposed to eat the pig. All right. Verse 2. But one of them that spake first said thus, What wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers. So these brothers and their mother were in the right spirit. They had that spirit built up where they were ready to die for what they believed in. They were ready to be martyrs in this truth, right? Verse 3, Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot. Right, so the king got pissed off. He wanted to burn them up. He wanted to put them on a cauldron, which is like a cooking pan, right? Which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the uttermost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. All right, so this king was so wicked, man. He was ordering to cut out his tongue, because he didn't like when the brother stood up and said, "Hey, I'm ready to die. I'm not going to eat this pig's flesh." Verse 5. When he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus: Yahweh the Most High looketh upon us, and in truth hath comfort in us, as Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants. So literally that's what it's telling you. Yahweh is going to be comforted in his servants. When we are there facing that hour of temptation, Revelation 3 and 10, and we're able to resist the devil, we're able to resist his device, Yahweh is comforted by that. It's like a proud father, right? It says in verse 7, so when the first was dead after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, they asked him, wilt thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body? So it's like brother number 2 was up. Same question. You're going to eat this, or you're going to get, you're going to take the death. Verse 8. But he answered in his own language and said, no. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order as the former did. So he got the same punishment, right? He got his tongue cut off, his limbs cut off, thrown on that cauldron, that hot pan to be cooked, Verse 9. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou like a fury takest us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life. Right? So he was in the spirit, but right before he gave up the ghost, he was still like basically telling the king like it was, like, yo, we got a savior that's going to save us no matter what you do. Remember what I read in Matthew 10 and 28. Fear the one that can kill the body and the soul. Don't just fear the one that can kill the body, right? Verse 10. After him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully. Right? Remember, he's dying he's taking his death like punishment, like a man. All right? That's the same thing we read about Eleazar yesterday in that lesson. Manfully. You're gonna die like a man. And again, it brings me to that song that Tupac sang. I'd rather die like a man than live like a coward. Right? So let's keep reading. And said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them, and from him I hope to receive them again. And so much that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded the pains. So he took that pain, he took that punishment manfully. Come on, man. They're cutting off his limbs, cutting off their tongues, putting them on a hot cauldron, which is like a hot-ass frying pan, a gigantic frying pan. It's to the point where even the men and the king were like, damn, this motherfucker's courageous. You see? And why? Because that spirit is built up. When you have the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai, nothing can really faze you. You see? Verse 13, now when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner. So they did it to the fourth brother. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from the Most High, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. They're all talking shit right before they take their last breath. See? And why? Because they were in the spirit. They was in the spirit. Verse 15. Afterward they brought the fifth also and mangled him. Then looked he unto the king and said, thou hast power over men. Thou art corruptible. Thou dost what thou wilt. Yet think not that our nation is forsaken of the Most High. He said, this is your power right here. But guess what? The Most High hasn't forgotten us. But abide a while and behold his great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed. So he was threatening him. He was talking shit to the point where he was threatening the king. Your seed's gonna feel the pain. You're gonna feel the torment of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. See? And you telling me these people weren't in the spirit? You telling me these brothers and the mother wasn't in the spirit? Because why? They knew the truth. When you know the truth, you ain't worried about this life. You see? John, what is it? John 7:32. Let me grab that real quick. John 7:32. Or maybe it's, no, it's, what is it? Damn, that ain't John, Salaki, I'm trying to remember. Okay, 8:32. John 8:32. It says, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." See, when you know the truth, when you understand the truth, hey, you can't be fazed, man. Because why? You know the truth. You know what it is. You know you're going to go into the spirit world, and eventually, you know, you're going to receive that everlasting life. You know, and these men, they're prophets now today in the reincarnation. You know, we don't know who they are, but they're out there on the streets prophesying through the reincarnation, the regeneration, the spirit of the elect, right? So, hey, verse 18. After him also they brought the sixth son, that's the sixth son, who, being ready to die, said, "Be not deceived without cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against the Most High, our power. Therefore marvelous things are done unto us." Right? So he took it like a man too, and he's like over here blaming himself, right? And that's the right spirit. Like if you get put in a guillotine, or you get put in a situation where Yahweh delivers you to the enemy, you know, you got to remember, guess what? We sinned. At the end of the day, we can't, oh man, you know, feel like Yahweh forsook us or left us. You got to remember, even if you come to that point, you've been a sinner. You fucked up, right? It doesn't mean you're not of the elect, but it means that that's your lot. You know, you might have to die for the truth. You might have to become a martyr. And that's the proper mindset that the elect will have and understand. All right? Verse 19. "But think not thou that takest in hand to strive against the Most High, that thou shalt escape unpunished." Still they are talking shit, saying, hey, look, don't think you're going to get away from this. The Most High going to punish you guys for this, right? Punish the king. Punish the king's men. Punish the heathen that were putting us to death, right? That are oppressing us. The same thing goes for this age. Verse 20, "But the mother was marvelous above all and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of 1 day, she bare it with a good courage because of the hope she had in Yahweh." So she had the right spirit too, even the mother. She saw all her sons get killed, get executed. And let's read it. Verse 21, "Yes, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach, she said unto them," and even she was manly in her spirit, "I cannot tell you how you came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you. But doubtless the Creator of the world, who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again, as ye know, regard not your own selves for his law's sake." So she was in the spirit, man. She was in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. She understood the truth. The truth made her free. That's why she was able to carry herself in this manner that we're reading, right? Verse 24, "Now Antiochus, thinking himself despised, and suspected it to be a reproachful speech, whilst the youngest was yet alive, the youngest son, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him that with oaths." So Antiochus, he tried to offer the youngest let's read it. "But also assured him with oaths that he would make him both rich and a happy man if he would turn from his laws of his fathers, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs." You see? So he was Antiochus was like, yo, I'm going to guarantee you have a rich man, you're a happy man, all you gotta do is eat this swine's flesh, And let's see what the youngest did. Verse 25, but when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, so he didn't listen to the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life. He's like, yo, tell your youngest son, or he's going to die. Tell him to eat this flesh, this pig's flesh. Tell him to break the laws of his fathers. You see? He was encouraging the mother to talk the son into doing the wickedness, right? Verse 26. And when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son. But she, bowing herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn. So she was like bowing towards her son, laughing at the king, spake in her country language on this manner. O my son, have pity upon me that bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee such 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider that the Most High made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise. So there she goes again, the mother still in the spirit, basically clowning the king, right? Telling her son, nah, just keep it real, take your death like a man, like your brothers, and he was already in that spirit, the youngest. 29. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. Now, how did she know that? How did she know she was going to receive him again with his brethren? Because she knew the truth. The truth shall make you free. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, Whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses. Right. So what did the youngest say? He said, yo, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm keeping it I'm gonna stand on business, with the law that was given to our fathers by Moses. See, these men, they all understood, hey, we're gonna trust in Yahweh. We're not gonna trust in man. All right? Real quick, let me grab this precept. Jeremiah 17:5 maybe? Yeah. Thus saith Yahweh, Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from Yahweh. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land, and not inhabited. Blessed is the man that trusteth in Yahweh, and whose hope is Yahweh is. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, that spreadeth out of her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh, but her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall she cease from yielding fruit. All right? So that's what these sons had, that same spirit. It was like a tree planted by waters, which is well nourished, right? And you don't need to be careful. If you have the trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yeshua, you don't need to be careful with your response to these heathen kings, right? Telling Esau, hell no, I ain't taking your micro CHIP. You see, I'd rather die like a man, right? Where am I at? It says, I'm in verse 31. And thou that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shall not escape the hands of the Most High. There he is, being manly, talking shit to the king Antiochus in his, basically right in the midst of his punishment. For we suffer because of our sins. See, they knew why they were going through it. Instead of saying, oh man, poor me, I should just eat the pig. No, they were still in the right spirit. They said, look, we're suffering this shit because of our sins, you see? And thou, the living Lord, be angry with us for a little while for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants. Right, and where's that? In the kingdom. But thou, O godless man, talking to Antiochus, and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of the Most High. He's basically warning him, like, yo, you're gonna get it. You putting your hands on the Most High's chosen vessels. See? Verse 35. For thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of Almighty the Most High, Yahweh, who seeth all things. For our brethren who now have suffered a short pain are dead under the Most High's covenant of everlasting life, but thou through the judgment of the Most High shalt receive just punishment for thy pride. You did this to my brothers? Well, guess what? Yahweh Bashem Yoshai has got something for your ass. Basically what he's telling him. The Lord's going to fuck you up. Basically what he's telling him. Verse 37. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching the Most High that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou by torments and plagues mayest confess that he alone is the Most High, and that in me and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty which is justly brought upon our nation may cease. Then the king, being in a rage, handed him worse than all the rest, and took it grievously that he was mocked. So the king gave him the worst punishment, death of all, because of the way he mocked him and the way he, basically, by at that point, the king was in a rage because he saw the way these men, these brethren, the way they all took their deaths like men, right? Verse 40. So this man died undefiled and put his whole trust in Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feasts and the extreme tortures. Right. So this is written aforetime for our learning. So no matter what we got to go through when we get put in that hour of temptation, right? When we get set in our back against the wall, and it's coming down to that point in our lives where it's like you either take the micro CHIP or you take either death, get thrown into a FEMA camp, get thrown into a prison. You know, you're gonna have to be able to make that discernment and build your spirit up now for whenever you're in that situation, so that you don't fold like a lawn chair, right? Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word, Yahweh Shai speaking, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Right, because the elect are going to receive crowns, especially the Lord's servants, the prophets. So you're not going to let Esau Edom take your crown because you say, oh, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take that micro CHIP, so that I can live a couple more years longer in this wicked society. No, you're going to be ready to die like a man rather than live like a coward, all right? So anyway, with that, I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKudash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge the Akim, who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom to the elect.